The Durban International Conference Centre was once again home to Kwa-Zulu Natal's Trade and Investment Exhibition. The exhibition has been running for the past 5 years. It attracted business leaders seeking opportunities to take their businesses to the next growth level. We are here at Durban's International Conference Centre, where KZN's 5th Annual Trade and Investment Summit is underway. The summit will highlight the importance of exporting to the KZN economy, which operates the 2 largest and busiest ports in South Africa. Over the next week, delegates will meet new trade partners, build new relationships and learn from top business minds about how to grow their businesses and reach new export markets. The trade fair kicked off with an opening address from the KZN MEC for Economic Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs. He highlighted the importance of the trade fair for the KZN economy, which is home to the 2nd busiest and biggest ports in South Africa.
For us as Kwa-Zulu Natal, this Expo Week is very important because it encourages and it provides a platform for training of the manufacturers, people who are involved in manufacturing, to ensure that they produce and they get training, but also they export to other countries. It is important in a sense that ours has been an economy that is challenged. An economy that is dependent on consumption than production, and therefore we've always imported things from other countries to this country, in particular our province. And we'll want to encourage a culture of manufacturing and exporting to the whole of Africa and the world. That is very important. This is significant. It is the 5th edition of the Expo in Kwa-Zulu Natal. So for the past 5 years, we've been having this Expo Week where we provide exhibition, we provide training, but we also link those people who are involved in manufacturing with opportunities that exist in the world.
The MEC also gave insights into the assistance manufacturers could expect to receive from government, and also highlighted the importance of increasing intra-Africa trade.
This Expo Week will expose our manufacturing to programs we have, including initiatives such as a Black Industrialist Program, which we are running together with the Department of Trade and Industry. And that is one platform where we'll assist those who are involved in manufacturing to do manufacturing and export to other countries. But yes, the economy at a global level is constrained, is facing serious challenges. But also, we must not take us as only trading with Europe and America. We must ensure that we trade with Africa.
The exhibition was attended by delegates from the KZN surrounds, other parts of South Africa and the continent. This year, the organizers partnered with Transnet, which ran its Africa Rail and Ports Conference parallel to the exhibition. The decision to partner with Transnet this year is part of the innovations the organizers of the Trade Expo strive to achieve.
On this year, as you can see, it is incorporated in the exhibition as well, which is a big plus for us because local companies can now showcase their products. It has also incorporated a lot of delegations from different markets, both in Africa and other international markets, to come through here. Companies that are able to network with our local companies to look at products.
This is the exhibition area of the trade fair where companies have come to showcase their products. Firms from KZN, other provinces in South Africa, as well as the rest of the continent have set up stalls. By doing this, they are taking advantage of the opportunity to put their best foot forward and network with delegates from all around the world.
We here today at Siaka Imperial Printing, we manufacture high resolution, high quality labels. We make super brands in the beverage industry, in home care, whatever you guys need. We target big brands. We're also looking to export now into Africa, to other parts of the world, Middle East, Malaysia. But that's what we do. We're based here in Manejkom. all super brands whatsoever you need. We make different types of labels, self-adhesive to shrink sleeving to wrap around, all different types of materials, and we're also looking to diversify and grow and expand.
We do business within Southern Africa and East Africa. What brings us to here is to introduce ourselves to more other technology partners and also potential new opportunities within South Africa and the rest of Africa, and also obviously broaden the horizon when it comes to business and so forth.
We came here to exhibit, and I'm into manufacturing of African clothes.
So you come from Ghana
Yes.
to South Africa
Yes.
to get new business?
Yes, we are looking out for other opportunities as well.
And how important are trade exhibitions like this for the growth of your company?
I think it will help my company if I'm able to get other contacts so I can supply to South Africa.
You guys seem very, very busy. Have you managed to get new clients?
Oh yes, we're still looking for new clients, and we've gotten a few who are so interested in getting the Ghana products. And we're doing very well.
And are you guys already exporting some of your products from Ghana to South Africa?
Not really.
That is why we came for the summit, actually, just to showcase what we have individually and then to sell out to Ghana what we can show to South Africans.
This is local beads in Ghana. We manufacture this with a leather. This is pure leather, weaving and do the beads, and this is only you can find only in Ghana. No country have this bead. Also this is also just leather, real leather. We just do it with also weaving and finish it like this, and for the ladies to wear. In this country, men wear it like this, and the ladies like you wear it like this,
Like this. All
Yeah.
right. And wearing it like this, what does this mean?
It means that you are from traditional in Ghana. Nobody can challenge you that if you're not from Ghana when you wear this.
It's very beautiful.
Yes,
it's very
yes.
beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Last year, global trade was estimated at about $16 trillion. This is down from $18 trillion in 2014 as a result of the global economic slowdown and weak commodity prices.
South Africa as an economy, we contribute only 0.5% to global exports, and that is like 50%, 50 cents for every $100 worth of goods traded in the world. And it may seem small, but in terms of Africa's contribution, it's quite huge because our contribution as a continent last year was around 2.4%. So out of that 2.4%, 50 cents came from South Africa.
South Africa mainly exports precious stones and metals, mineral fuels and vehicles. Our top export destinations were China, which received almost half of our products. China was followed by the US and Germany. Core local export markets included Namibia, Swaziland and Zimbabwe. Although South Africa participates meaningfully to global trade, the country suffers from a structurally high trade deficit. This means we import more than we export. It also means the country has vast untapped export potential.
Being the largest deposit of platinum in the world, I personally believe that instead of exporting our product raw like they are, we could actually process them here. For example, I understand that platinum is used in engine blocks. Why don't we manufacture those engines here? Because you saw in the trade statistics that we import more of the components for manufacturing of vehicles, and then we assemble the vehicles here and send them out as finished products. Why don't you assemble here and then have those components manufactured here? Then that will enhance our trade balance because we will be exporting more of high-value exports than just minerals.
Brexit could also provide such opportunities for local companies to increase exports should the UK leave the Eurozone and agree to more favourable trade conditions.
They'll probably reduce tariffs on agricultural imports because they're not a major agricultural producer and they want cheaper food, basically. So that should open up export opportunities for a range of agricultural exports. The second big issue is whether the UK would continue with the European Union's common agricultural policy. And I think that's very unlikely. They're probably going to take that money that's dedicated to the CAP, as it's called, and invest it in other things. For example, they're going to lose a lot of European Union money that goes currently to their universities. So they might decide to divert those farming funds into UK universities, which means UK farmers will be less protected. They'll have to compete much more. That opens up opportunities for South African exporters again.
Another such opportunity can arise from South Africa's membership to the BRICS economic grouping, especially in China and India, where local manufacturers get the most value for their products.
The Chinese ladies always like to look good as well, and they are actually to the tune of about 1.5 billion US dollars. They are importing cosmetics into China. So there's no reason why, for instance, some of our local homegrown organic and other local herbs and essential oils, etc., cannot be developed and marketed to those economies, especially with the Chinese type of customs that they are also very focused on herbal and natural products. They will definitely be takers for those kind of products as well.
But before a manufacturer pursues an export market, they must first be sure there is a realistic opportunity for their product.
When we look at an export opportunity, it must be realistic, and to get it, to understand what is realistic, is we say there must be a demand. That market must have bought this from somebody, and in this specific case, they must have imported it from somebody, because if they only buy it locally, domestically, then it doesn't mean that they will buy it from you if you want to import it. Secondly, we also look at where is the opportunity in terms of South Africa's existing exports and where we have what we call mature export products that we can export, that we've demonstrated that we can export. But at the same time, there's also what we call investment opportunities, where products do not exist yet in South Africa that we can actually develop and look at opportunities and say we want to invest, we want to build this because we see there is a market for a product, and then we basically develop new products and new production capacity and capability.
After the break, we find out more about the 1.5 billion rand investment made by pharmaceutical giant Cipla into Dube Trade Port. Welcome back to Eye on KZN. The World Trade Organization conducted a study about the value of trade promotion agencies. It showed that every $1 spent on export promotion generates an additional $87 in exports. During the BRICS summit held in India in September, Cipla signed a 1.5 billion rand deal with Dube Trade Port to build Africa's first fully integrated biopharmaceutical plant at the port. The state-of-the-art facility is set to produce a range of affordable treatments for cancer and other autoimmune diseases for the African and global market. It is also expected to create around 180 permanent jobs.
We're very excited at Dube Trade Port. I think the one of the big breakthroughs for us is it brings a major pharmaceutical investor into our zone, into our special economic zone. And the way we've approached the investment is we would like it to make it almost an anchor for the beginning of a pharmaceuticals cluster. So a lot of the investment decisions we're taking around infrastructure, like a utility zone, will be designed and built in a way that it will service the Cipla plant, but it will also service potentially 2 or 3 other new plants that will exist within the same vicinity. Another very exciting aspect of the investment is it is a biosimilar plant. So it's Cipla's biotech division that are establishing the plant. Biosimilars are very new medicines which are in this particular instance used for oncology cancer treatments. They're manufactured in a very sophisticated and quite complex process and are only rarely located in a few areas around the world. So firstly, we're very excited to have the technology and this new level of almost a new sector in manufacturing coming into the zone. The biosimilars themselves are also product now that is going into more of a generic phase, so they'll be more affordable than some of the primary initial medications.
The port's long-term strategy is to become a pharmaceutical hub and attract further investments into the special economic zone.
Yeah, we have a very strong belief at Dubai Trade Port that the pharmaceutical sector really is going to be one of the major growth sectors around the world going forward in the next 10, 15, 20 years. So we are very keen to get a footprint and for that footprint to serve as a basis for having a multiplier effect almost within the broader economy. So to be able to bring in tertiary institutions, research and development, distribution and logistics. So the plant really will be focused on a very large market, a global market, the Africa-wide market and the domestic market as well. So we do see a lot of exports potentially coming from the zone, but the enormous growth, expected growth in the African market in particular, for us is of great interest, and we would want to create a platform for distribution, manufacturing and distribution into that market as it grows.
Future exports from KZN will also benefit from the Smart People Port, being pioneered by Transnet at the Port of Durban. Very soon, some of the operations being conducted at the port will be done through wireless technology aimed at increasing efficiencies.
There was a disconnectedness between ourselves and our operation, ourselves and our ecosystem, as well as ourselves and our community. So what that means, in other words, is that our communities were not aware of what activities were being undertaken in the port, as well as what port-related activities and trade activities brought about the congestion that exists in and around the port environment. Coupled with that is the miscommunication or the no communication sometimes to terminal operators, clearing and forwarding agents, ships agents. So just about everybody in the entire supply chain was not communicated to about what our planned vessel arrivals were, or what was our planned schedule for the day, and how were we monitoring that, and what were the congestions that we were experiencing as a result of that as well. And then last but not least is our own port operations. There was a huge disconnect between ourselves as a port authority with that view, a live view, real-time view of our port operations, meaning we did not know where certain operational equipment was. We did not know where the tugs were, where the pilots were. So those kind of operational assets needed to be tracked, and we needed to view their location and that data real time so as to bring about data that we could communicate to the community, to the ecosystem, to the logistics supply chain. And everybody would have more or less the same source of data to either make decisions about where to move their goods or how to move their goods or which mode of transport to move their goods, or just make general decisions around what kind of sort of commodities we are moving in terms of large volumes at a point in time, and make decisions as to where the key focus should be in terms of commodities from an economic perspective as well as from a country's perspective. And then last but not least, just to bring about a more efficient port operations at the Port Authority and the terminals.
Trade promotion agencies have been important for marketing small to medium-sized companies who do not have the same financial muscle as large corporations.
It's important that provincial government and we as an entity of Trade and Investment Kwa-Zulu Natal coordinates expos like this, particularly in a province, to provide additional information and assistance to exporters, especially local exporters, because the purpose is really to provide additional resources to them. Manufacturing is difficult, but exports is even more difficult. So if you don't understand the requirements that you need to know to get your export products into a market, it becomes very difficult for you. So our role as a trade promotion agency is really to create an enabling environment and a conducive environment for exporters to get the necessary resources to get their products out. It's especially important for small and medium-sized companies. Big companies have large marketing budgets and they are able to go out into the world and spend money on expos, whereas our small companies don't have it. So as an agency, we do have some support we give to our companies. SMEs generally get assistance from us in the form of a BA financial assistance scheme. where we cover the costs of accommodation and flights to the tune of 60% for them to go into particular markets. We also cover the costs in some cases of the exhibition stands in markets, so they are able to then get their products into those markets at an easier and a more efficient way. People will tell you that about 75% of the cost of any product goes into logistics. So in order for us to get our companies to get their products into markets, we need to then create those platforms for them. Recently, the World Trade Organization has done a study through the International Trade Center talking about the value of trade promotion agencies. And they've indicated that for every $1 that is spent on a trade promotion agency, export is increased by about $87. So that's quite significant if you look at it, especially if you look at it from a South African perspective, the rand-dollar exchange rate sitting at almost 14 rand. So it makes a big difference for the small companies, especially SMEs, who don't have the deep pockets like the bigger export companies to get into those markets. And that is the role that we play as the provincial agencies. Yes, we do work with the DTI, but the DTI is the national level. This is a provincial initiative that Trade and Investment does every year. We're doing it for the last 5 years, as I've indicated, and we continue to do that. And every year we provide different information to companies. So this year would be totally different to last year. Very interesting topics this year were issues around whether BRICS will have an impact on, especially the BRICS part into China, into India, will have an impact on exports into those particular markets. A very interesting topic this year was also Brexit, how that Brexit activity in the UK will have an impact of our exports into the European market. So those are some of the topics that we cover. And I think with feedback we've got from our companies over the last 2 days since we've been rolling it, they found the information very interesting and very relevant to them. And hopefully it will make a difference in their export opportunities.
Badumi Beads is one such company that has been able to grow in quantum leaps due to the assistance provided by Trade and Investment KZN.
The name of my business is Badumi Beads CC. What we're doing, we are doing beaded jewelry, traditional attires, and clothing. So we're specializing in beaded jewelry more. So, and we're selling it to individuals and shops, and we're also exporting our beaded jewelry. I'm working with the 5 ladies at the moment, and I'm looking at getting more ladies because the demand of beadwork is increasing. And I work from Umlazi, where I work from for now, and my intention is to get a retail shop, so where can I will sell my products.
And how has this trade expo helped you?
The trade expo really helped me because I've learned so much since I've started business. I didn't know about exporting and other things. I didn't know how to go about exporting. So because of attending the trade expo, now I have knowledge about how to export. I know, and I'm registered as an exporter. I'm ready to export my products.
The benefits of promoting trade are far-reaching. Not only can they improve the macroeconomic picture, but the positives can trickle down to the community too. With the assistance of Trade and Industry KZN, Xolile was able to provide 9 people in the township of KwaMashu with jobs.
I started my business in 2005, but my business only started picking up in 2010. I started traveling to different countries like the US, New Mexico, and New York. Very soon, I'll be going to China, and I believe everything will go well. I'd like to thank Trade and Investment KZN and all the assistance they have given me to grow my business, together with the DTI.
That's it from KZN's 5th Annual Trade and Investment Exhibition. Be sure not to miss out on next year's event, which promises to build on the successes achieved this year.